classrooms should be student-centered. Now, this is not a student-centered venue. This is a performer-centered venue, isn't it? All of the chairs are bolted to the floor facing that way because that's what it's built for. It's built so that the important stuff takes place up there. But that's not the way a classroom is. In a classroom, the important stuff takes place out here. That's why I'm standing down here right now. You say, well, if you stood up there, we could see you better. Yeah, but if I stand down here, I can see you better. And that's more important because this is about you. I'm not on a Vegas stage today with the lights blinding me, not able to see past the second or third row. I am a teacher with hundreds of individual students. And if I stay down here, then I can see your eyeballs and I know whether you're listening or not. Are you too tired to go on? Getting funny vibes from the neighbors? Maybe you just feel overloaded. Perhaps your children listen to too much rap music.
And what is true of a classroom is true of the entire district. Every single solitary thing that you do is about the kids. Let me tell you something, folks. It is not about the union. And it's not about budgets. And it's not about facilities. And it's not about your convenience. Everything is about the kids. That's got to be what drives you every single day of your life that you come to work. Now, some of you are going to say, you don't get it. I just mow the lawns. I don't care. You have to do it because you care about the kids and you believe in the dream. My friends, you should wake up every morning with tingles running down your spine in wonder and amazement that they will let you draw a paycheck to participate in such a wonderful enterprise as transforming the lives of kids.
Because he performs magical illusions as he helps people recognize and break through the false beliefs that hold them back, illusions about themselves and the world, Billy Riggs is known as the world's first and only disillusionist.
I wonder if 6 months from now I was to walk up to one of you teachers and ask you what you're doing, how you would respond. Making out one more homework assignment for the students to totally disregard? Or would you say, I'm making sure that thousands of kids from this school district one day go to college instead of jail? Do we have any bus drivers in the crowd? I wonder if I were to walk up to you a few months from now and ask you what you were doing, what you would say. Driving this same old rattle-trap bus down the same old bumpy roads I've been driving for 15 years. Or would you say, I'm making sure that the kids of my route grow up with pride and self-esteem instead of shame their whole lives? Do we have any cafeteria workers here? Yeah. If I walked up to you and asked you, what are you doing, what would you say? Oh, making the same freaking mashed potatoes in the same freaking pot I've been making for 25 freaking years. And that's longer than freaking has even been a word. Would you say, I'm making sure that the kids in this school one day live in houses instead of trailers, or worse, under bridges? I'm making sure that they drive reliable cars instead of death traps. I'm changing the world one pot of mashed potatoes at a time. You must never allow yourself for a moment to forget why you do what you do.
First, you'll need to take out a bandana. Now, fold the bandana in half. That's right. Fold it in half. Now, take out your mother's favorite handbag. Place the bandana in the handbag. Now, close the handbag firmly around the bandana. What the audience doesn't know, neighbor, is that you never put the bandana in the handbag at all. That's right. You kept it hidden in your left hand. Remember palming? Sure, I knew you would. Remember to keep your hand in a natural position. Now, make a magical gesture over the handbag. And with a grand flourish, fling the handbag open and wait for your well-deserved response.
In an unforgettable presentation, world-class illusionist Billy Riggs seamlessly blends his powerful message with spectacular illusions and hilarious fun.
Sir, you are thinking of a single word. You never wrote it down, you never told anyone, you merely thought of it. Would you please, for the first time, tell us the word you are thinking of?
Newspaper.
Newspaper?
More than 2 million people on 5 continents and 10 cruise ships have experienced the incredible message, magic, and comedy of Billy Riggs.
12:35. Come on!
As the CEO and founder of 3 successful organizations and a former counselor with 2 master's degrees, Billy understands human potential.
You and I have something in common. We all became illusionists as small children. In fact, psychologists tell us that the faulty perceptions of the world that we all drag with us through adult life to cripple our creativity, paralyze our potential, limit our sales, impede our progress, and drain our lives of joy were generally formed in our minds by about the age of 6. It is the eternal law of life, and if you choose to get up with your head in the wrong place and say, my glass is half empty, it will get emptier. The consequence of a negative attitude is that you will attract bad things and bad people to yourself. And over the course of your lifetime, you will drain your glass to the dregs of all of the joy that you might otherwise have known. And you'll find a very troubling process at work in your soul. Your glass will grow smaller. Your ability to know joy will slowly diminish. As day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, and even decade by decade, you find yourself paying the compounded interest on a life lived with a sour, dour, negative outlook. But the converse is also true. If you choose as an act of your will to get up with your head in the right place every day and say, my glass is half full, it will get fuller. And you'll find a wonderful process at work in your life. Your glass will grow larger. Okay, last time. This is your brain. This is your brain on a bad attitude, and this is your brain on a good one. Ladies, did my pulse stop?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the deceased person. Burn it completely. Pour the ashes into my hand, if you will, please. I'm going to just lay them on my wrist like this. You will notice that they cling to my wrist. Can you read that, ma'am?
A.T.
A.T. Those your father's initials? Your father's name was Arthur P. Townsend. Am I correct?
This is a very anxiety-ridden week at my house. And it's going to be filled with anxiety until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Because tomorrow afternoon at 4, that's when the local elementary school will post my son's teacher assignment for this critical upcoming 4th grade year. And like most parents, we spend a whole lot of most of our summers hoping against hope that our little boy will be assigned to one particular teacher, because that lady's reputation precedes her. And we know that there's something about that woman that somehow she manages to take every student, spread out the ashes, find a few glowing embers, and begin to softly blow on them. And over the course of the months, to fan those embers into an inferno of a love for knowledge. But just to be candid, which I can be because I'm leaving in a couple of hours, my wife told me a couple of nights ago that all summer long she's been praying that our boy does not get assigned to one particular teacher. Even the atheists in our neighborhood go to church all summer long just to hedge their bets. Because her reputation precedes her. We know that there's something about that woman. She just manages to take every kid, spread out the ashes, find a few glowing embers, and pour water all over them. Let me ask you a question. What is the primary difference between those two teachers? I believe at the core of the issue is this. It is why that teacher goes to work in the morning. It's what drives him or her. That teacher that you want your kid being taught by, let me tell you why she goes to work. She loves kids. And she believes with every fiber of her soul that she is making a difference for time and eternity. She believes in the dream of education and the power of learning to transform a kid's life for the better. Now, that other teacher, the one you don't want your kid being taught by, let me tell you why he or she goes to work. They need health insurance or a pension plan, or they've got 3 years to retirement and they're hanging on for dear life. And they don't care how many students they wipe out in the process. Great teachers, just like great employees of any school district, all of them, all of you, are driven by a passion for education.
But he is an illusionist who is really first-rate, first-class. He also is a professional speaker. He says what he says real well and with a lot of zip and humor and enthusiasm, but most importantly, he's a professional human being. He really wants to help. That's the reason people benefit from his message.
I thought I was going to see about a third or second class magic show. This guy is really a good illusionist. He could take this on the road and just sell that if he had nothing at all to say. Some of the best tricks I've ever seen, and I wish he could tell me how he does some of them.
In my 17 years as a Riley producer, a full-time Speakers Bureau, and now a full-time career planner in the speaking industry, working with heavyweights, I have never seen such talent rolled up into one person as I have with Billy Riggs. Billy Riggs has the ability to inspire as Zig Ziglar, be as analytical as Stephen Covey, and as entertaining as David Copperfield, all rolled up into one.